Namaste, and welcome to season 1 of Exploring Ancient Indian Wisdom for Global Kids. I'm your host, Bhavani Desai, and this is episode 5 called Practical Wisdom Applying Ancient Teachings in Daily Life. Today, we are lucky to have Guru Pashupati ji with us. Here, he will share how parents and teachers can help children like me use ancient Indian wisdom to handle daily challenges. Well, we'll talk about simply daily habits and teachings, how they can help kids and more. Let's get started with some practical wisdom of our everyday lives. बारे जानकी ಸಿತಾರಾಮ ಸೋಮುಖಿ ಬ್ಯಾಗದಿಂದ ಹಸೆಗೆ ಬಾರೆ ಭಾಗ್ಯದಾಯಕಿ ಚಾರುತನದಲ್ಲಿ ಶೃಂಗಾರವಗುತ್ತಲಿ ಮಾರನ ಗಿಳಿಯಂತೆ ಬಲು ಸೊಬಗು ತೋರುತ್ತಲಿ ದಶರಥಾತ್ಮಜ ಧನುವನೆತ್ತಿದ ಕುಸುಮ ತೇಜ ಗಣಪ ನಿನ್ನ ಕರೆಯ ಕಳುಹಿದ ಎಂತ ಧನ್ಯಳೋ ಇನ್ಯಂತ ಮಾನ್ಯಳೋ ಕಂತು ಪಿತಾನಂತ ದ್ರೀಶ ಕಾಂತನಾಗುವ ಬಾರೆ ಜಾನಕಿ ಸಿತಾರಾಮ ಸೋಮುಖಿ ಬ್ಯಾಗದಿಂದ ಹಸೆಗೆ ಬಾರೆ ಭಾಗ್ಯದಾಯಕಿ ಬ್ಯಾಗ್ಯದಿಂದ ಹಸೆಗೆ ಬಾರೆ ಭಾಗ್ಯದಾಯಕಿ. Namaste, Gurugade.
Namaste.
Welcome to episode 5 of Exploring Ancient Indian Wisdom for Global Kids. So, this episode is Practical Wisdom Applying Ancient Teachings in Daily Life.
Okay.
So, how can parents and educators guide children in applying ancient Indian wisdom to navigate challenges in their daily lives?
Like I said, first they have to learn it. Now, a lot of people think that they know ancient Indian wisdom, but it's very layered and very nuanced. So then what they have to do is learn properly from a guru, and only then they'll be able to apply. A lot of books exist about it, but that's not equivalent to having your own experience. So if you want to learn properly, I've got a course you can learn. And then whatever you learn, you can help people massively, because then you'll have a framework, you'll understand the basics, you'll also understand the differences between Western viewpoints and Indian viewpoints, which are tremendous, and how Indian culture allows you to face anything in life. This is something that I'm happy if everybody learns it. So get to learning. That's how you can apply it. There's no magic way. If you don't know, how can you teach?
So what is the course called?
It's called the 64-day challenge. It's a very challenging course, and you have to do you are in sound mind and body. So we test whether you're in sound mind and body, and if you are, then you'll be accepted into the course. It is not a course to cure things and make yourself better and overcome psychological problems. For that, my YouTube channel is more than enough. Guru Pashupati YouTube channel. So just watch everything there, and you'll get answers to almost all of your problems. If you don't find answers, just message me, and I'll make a video about it. That's what I do. People message me about their various problems, and I just give them solutions for free. I'm not here to solve people's problems. I'm here to teach yoga, which is a culture, a lost way of living, which is now making a comeback thanks to the efforts of my Akhada. So that is why, those who want to really sincerely learn yoga, I only accept them. So I get 3,000 plus applications every month, but I accept only 60 people every month. So, and the batches are running full. The people are fighting to get it. That's because of the value of what we teach. When you see a channel, you'll understand.
Yeah. It's good. So, are there any specific daily practices or habits inspired by ancient teachings that you believe resonate well with kids?
Yes. It's called Devi Maryada. Okay?
Yeah.
Which means honoring the various ways in which the mother goddess touches us. Right now, I can see she's touching me as sunlight. I allow that touch and I enjoy that touch and I just bask in it like a child basks in the mother's lap. That's what you have to do. The same thing goes for grounding. Grounding is the source of most metabolically inexpensive electrons. Your entire mitochondria runs on what is called an electron transfer chain. So, as electrons move between the various compartments of the mitochondria called cytokines, as the electrons move, that's how you get your energy. So, you can get that from food, you can get that from sunlight, you can also get it from standing barefoot on the ground. The center point of uh, your foot is called Bhumi Chakra. The Chinese call it bubbling spring in the Yellow Emperor's textbooks. But these ideas have gone from India itself, and by understanding that there is an energetic point at the center of your foot, okay, right in the center of your foot. If you touch it, it's an energetic point. That point, being in contact with the electrons of the earth, fills your body with electrons. And then the mitochondria have got electrons to do their work and create energy for you without digestion, without converting photons from the sunlight into electrons. You're directly getting electrons. So if a person walks barefoot all day, they don't need to eat. This has been the experience of so many of my students who are trekkers. When they go to a place where they can go barefoot, like a beach, for example, okay,
Yeah.
or any other landscape where the land is not full of thorns and stones. When you do that, even grass or whatever. So my students now, their foot has become thick, so they can trek over stones. They don't feel anything. Okay. So when you are able to do that, you'll find that you don't need food. The person who used to eat 3 meals a day will reduce to 1 meal a day. And the person who was eating 1 meal a day like me can even stop eating if we do this. This is the second Devi Maryada. So the first Devi Maryada is called Rashmi Devi Maryada. Rashmi means rays. Okay, Rashmi is a Devi. She comes to you and she touches you in sun rays. That's why I sit outside. I don't sit in artificial light. Artificial light kills people because it is loaded with blue energy, blue photons,
Yeah.
blue frequency photons, which which disrupt your biology if you're getting it after night, after sunset. After sunset, if you're getting blue, then your eye starts to think that it is mid-afternoon. And the rest of your body is now digesting food. Do you know that food also captures light? If you're eating, if you're eating a plant, let's say you're eating a mango, that mango has captured ultraviolet light into its shell as nutrition for the seed. When the seed falls into the ground, it eats all that glucose which is there inside, and it converts that into photons. Uh, so it takes that energy, that photonic energy, and then the plant itself makes it into electrons. But when we eat it, our body is re-releasing that ultraviolet light, and that signals mean something to you. That's called your ultraradian rhythm. There is a circadian rhythm which follows the sun and the setting of the sun. If you rise when the sun rises and set when the sun sets, it's good for you. You should go to bed early. But if you start staying up all night in artificial light, your brain is going to think it is afternoon. Then you feel hungry because it's afternoon. Then you'll eat something. Then you'll release ultraviolet light inside yourself. Then you'll completely confuse yourself because a lot of people eat out of season things just because we can store food. For example, grains. People are eating wheat all year round or rice all year round. It's not possible to eat wheat and rice all year round. Because if you do that, you're confusing your body about what season it is and how it has to do various things, like how much hydration should it have, how much fat should the body store. All of these things are determined by the ultraradian rhythms. So, another crazy thing people do is to wear ultraviolet glasses. This is based on botched research by the spectacle companies. You know, And also the sunscreens. They want to tell you that the sun is bad for you. But there's no bigger lie. The sun is absolutely good for you. If you can't bear the sun, you have got to expose yourself a little by little and you'll get used to it. You'll build something called a solar callus and you will become darker. But when people become darker, they start panicking, saying, I'm not beautiful anymore. I heard that the Koreans think that Indians are ugly because of our skin color. I've never heard anything more ridiculous. Okay. To be pale like a ghost is not beautiful. To be tanned like a goddess, that is beautiful, isn't it? So, like
Yes.
Goddess Kali, like Krishna, like Shiva, they're all tanned, they're all dark. Okay, why is that? Why is that we insist that our gods are dark? Even Vishnu is dark, right? So that's the reason. So to tell us to get more sunlight. Okay, so it's all embedded into our religion. It's not a religion. It's um, it's just like a manual to live life properly on earth. And there are many manuals, so big, to understand spirituality and God. Even if you want to understand the body, you have to read many books. But if you want to understand God, you have to read even more books. So those are the knowledge, the amazing knowledge left for us by our ancestors. Okay, so now I'm going to tell you, I've told you Rashmi Devi Maryada, don't get bad light after sunset. If you want light, light a candle or light a diya, like a lamp. Light a lamp or a candle, a lamp which runs on oil. That light is so much better for your eyes than the artificial lights that we have everywhere. And when you do that, you show respect to Devi. If you're getting artificial light, blue frequencies after sunset, you're not showing respect to Devi, and she won't show respect to you because she can't touch you. And the second thing is of course Bhumi Devi Maryada, which is walking for hours on the grass. Like all your workouts you can do outside. Why are people working out in a gym with blue light? You work outside, you'll get a beautiful body. You don't have to do that much work also. No? I don't do much exercise, but I'm strong, man. Why? How did that happen? It's only because of light, and I'm now 50 years old. And I find 25-year-olds who can't do what I can do because of just sunlight. That's a lots of sunlight, lots of grounding. Okay? And no artificial lights after night. That's the first part. Then the second part that kids need to follow is not eating after sunset and eating things in season. You need to have a chart of all the grains, pulses, and seeds because these three things can be stored. And you need to stop eating imported fruit. You need to eat locally grown fruit. And you should eat organic food because otherwise you're poisoning your body. So these are simple things that people can demand. And when we demand, then the prices of organic food will come down because everybody will switch to organic. Okay. So people are busy demanding veganism, which is not going to save the planet. What's going to save the planet is the intelligence of human beings to repair the mess that we've made. You have to have DHA in your diet, which makes you intelligent, and that's not available in vegetarian food. You can only get it from milk, curds, from fish, from you know meat. That's the only way you're going to get DHA that you can use. The DHA that you get from vegetarian food, it's usually ALA, which the body tries to convert to DHA, but it can't. And if we directly eat grass has a lot of DHA, but if we keep eating grass, we can't digest it because we are not a cow. Okay, a cow has
Yeah.
four stomachs. We have only one. It has four stomachs to create DHA out of the grass, to make that DHA to convert it into mammal DHA. So when the cow has so much DHA, it comes in the milk of the cow. But as long as you're having grass-fed cow, but which cows are feeding on grass now? Everybody's feeding their cows GMO soy, which is also Roundup ready, which means you can put any amount of pesticide on it and it will not die. So it's genetically modified to not die with the pesticide. So that one is going to be loaded in pesticides. So not only that, they give the cows injections of hormones so that she can go on producing milk. So you need ethically treated cows that are not injected, are artificially producing milk, and you need them grass fed. Then only you can, and even the meat of animals that you eat, if it's not grass fed and if it's just like chicken that you buy, broiler chicken, that is fed on again GMO soy and other such foods, GMO grains as well, you're not going to have health. Your brain will not work. Without DHA, the brain doesn't work. Okay. So that's why you should make proper food choices and you should insist to your parents that they make proper food choices for you after studying it. There is a book that I recommend. It's called Mitochondriac Manifesto. It's not a very good book to read because it's difficult to read. And a better book comes along, I will recommend a better book, but right now it's not there. I've asked my students to write a book, so it's going to come along soon. A much better book than Mitochondriac Manifesto is going to come along. But Mitochondriac Manifesto by R.D. Lee is a pretty decent book right now, the best that you can get in the market. Okay, so there's a big gap about knowledge about all these things because there are many big industries opposing this. They don't want you to stop using their products, which are inherently unhealthy. But if we as consumers reject all those products, then it will become healthy. Okay. So I've explained to you Rashmi Devi Maryada. You got it? Bhumi Devi Maryada. And now this Maryada of eating proper good food that is actually food and not GMO something. And not eating after sunset. And not eating out of season. This is called Annapurneshwari Maryada, the goddess of food, Annapurna. So when we give Maryada to her, then you'll become automatically. These three things, if you follow, you start becoming healthy. And there's one more thing called Swapneshwari Maryada. Now, this is a very important Maryada to follow. Don't wake yourself up with an alarm. Go to bed early without getting any blue light in your eyes. You'll wake up at 4:30 in the morning or even 3:30 in the morning like me if you practice. Because I sleep at 7:30 or 8 o'clock in the night. I'm out. I just go to sleep. And I'm up in the morning so early. Do you know how many things I did before we did this podcast? It's 7 o'clock. For me, it's already 4 hours into my day.
Yeah.
People 7 o'clock when they wake up because there's a lot of noise outside.
Yeah.
Allow yourself to be waken up by external noise, not by your internal clock. So that is called Swapneshwari Maryada, when you wake up by your internal clock and then you allow all the dreams to happen and all the sleep to do what it does. Without deep sleep, today men are losing testosterone. Women are getting all sorts of disorders because of this. And we have to be careful with our food as well. There is something called deuterium, which is a heavy hydrogen. It's an isotope of hydrogen. Do you know what an isotope is? It has the same number of protons, but it has more neutrons in its nucleus. So there is in the center of every atom is something called a nucleus. In that nucleus, hydrogen has one proton, but deuterium has a proton and a neutron, so it becomes heavy. And it also reacts with oxygen to form water, and that is called deuterium-rich water. So you need deuterium-depleted water, but we go on eating deuterium-rich water. Especially in India, people keep drinking coconut water as if it's some kind of nectar, but it's not. It's full of deuterium. It's not good for you. You should completely avoid it. And, things like fruits, overeating fruits and overeating processed food. All your processed food has deuterium. So people who are busy eating processed food, useless food, they're going to get heavy deuterium. And then all women at the age of 20 to 30, they get endometriosis and they get fibroids. And these fibroids are horrible. They make your life horrible. They make your period so painful. And everyone having painful period has some level of endometriosis or fibroids, and they think it's normal. They think pain in period is normal. Today, my student was messaging me and said, I got my period. I didn't even know. There were no symptoms. There's no PMS, no nothing. I said, yeah, because you're following Devi Maryada. They will take care of you. Don't load yourself up on artificial foods. Only eat real foods. This is Annapurneshwari Maryada. If we follow these four Maryadas, if we follow, this is the beginning practice of yoga for children. If you're able to follow this, your brains will work. Your learning capacity will become 10 times more. And your knowledge will become 10 times more. And your diseases will go away if you get proper nutrition. These are things that you have to learn, You need a good supply of vegetables, but too much vegetables is also not good because it's loaded with deuterium. So
Yeah.
it's a good idea to eat eggs and meat if they are processed. I mean, if they're not processed, like if they're not, you get a lot of processed meats. So really bad for you, high in deuterium. Okay, so you have to eat natural foods. Yeah, and even if you're a vegetarian, you have to have a lot of um, you know animal products like uh, paneer, ghee, milk, and that kind of things. Those animal fats will help you. Okay. But if you eat too many
Yeah.
grains and if you eat them out of season, that's a problem. Here in South India and Kerala, where I'm from, many people don't eat that many grains. They eat tapioca, which is a good alternative to grains, and it doesn't cause all of the stomach issues that grains cause. So there's another book, that parents can read. It's called Gut and Psychology Syndrome by Dr. Natasha Campbell. And she's written a series of these books. They're all good. She's even written a book called Vegetarianism Explained for those who are confused about vegetarian and non-vegetarian so that you can make an informed choice to be vegetarian or not. These books are all very important. Educate yourself. The knowledge is out there. It's just our laziness that we don't learn. So parents have to learn and then they can teach their kids because these books are too heavy for kids. They'll find it very difficult to read. So any parents watching this, go get these books. If possible, we'll link it in this video so that
Sure.
you can purchase these books. All the books of Gut and Psychology Syndrome, Vegetarianism Explained, and then Mitochondriac Manifesto. There's a chapter on water, which everybody needs to read. Dehydration, what it does to you. Most kids are dehydrated because they're not getting minerals. If you don't have minerals in your diet, you'll be dehydrated. When you're dehydrated, you have a lot of problems like hair loss, you have skin issues, and you have eyesight issues, and then you have all sorts of other issues. You can't lose weight. These are all the problems that happen because of wrong balance of water, too much deuterium, and too much exposure to devices. Exposing yourself to a device after sunset is really bad for your health when you're a kid. Like, really, really bad. Finish everything you have to do with your laptop and your phones before sunset and just throw it away. If you do that, you'll start growing up as a very powerful, divine human being. Even without practicing a single asana of yoga, you can become a divine human being with superior intelligence. Just if you follow what I said, if you rewind this video, note down everything I said and follow it, you will become a divine human being.
Yeah. I need to try not using devices, at least in the vacation right now. We
Don't
have
use them after
vacation.
sunset. It's okay to use them when the sun is up.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. You can't eat carbs and everything at night. I mean, not anything. You can't eat anything at night. You're not supposed to eat anything after the sun sets. Finish all your eating before the sun sets.
The thing is, the sun sets like at 4:40, like that
Before
period.
that.
I mean 7:40.
Finish it before that.
So yeah. So
It's
it
not
almost
hard.
hits the 7:40. It's
Just
freezing.
fast. That fasting that you do after sunset is so good for your body because it detoxes your body while you're asleep. Drink a lot of water and have a little bit of salt because you don't get minerals. Get Himalayan pink salt and have a little pinch of it 3 to 4 times a day, and that will give you enough minerals to absorb water into your cells.
Yeah.
This is
My
ancient
dad used,
knowledge. Science is now catching up with the Maryadas, and they're telling us Maryadas are going to save you. Like, we already knew it.
yeah.
Yogis live
My
with,
dad started
"Oh, why am I
using,
sitting like this? Why can't I wear a shirt?" Many people are, why don't yogis wear shirts? Because we're absorbing sunlight. That's why.
yeah. So, in your experience, how do children react to incorporating ancient wisdom into their routine? And what positive change have you
Children react
observed?
badly, obviously, because they're used to so many bad habits. But it's the adult's responsibility to be strict and make sure that they follow. Children react really badly. If you take away the device, they wanna commit suicide. That's how bad it is. Yeah, there are some kids who committed suicide because their parents took away their mobiles. So you need to explain everything properly and you need to do it with them. What kids hate is parents having one rule for themselves and another rule for the kids. This is wrong. If you're a parent, you should also follow the rules. Don't just give orders to your kids. Follow the rules and be a shining example of good health, and your kid will also want to do that. So parents have a lot more power than they think that they have. They don't understand why the kids are behaving cranky, and so many kids are turning out autistic with ADD and ADHD. All that can be fixed by just fixing your diet and your lifestyle. And it has to start with the parents. I don't think kids are empowered to make these decisions because these things cost money. Organic food costs money, and going outside somewhere all the time. You have to pay to you have to make time to take your kid out. So parents are so busy working, they lose money if they take you out. They have to figure out their lives in such a way that they have time for the family. And you should insist on this from your parents. Make time for us. Make time for us every day, not just on the weekends.
Yeah.
It's a demand of better parenting. Demand better parenting from parents. They can do better.
So, can you share examples of how ancient teachings have inspired children to contribute positively to their communities or environments?
I'll tell you what, there are some kids here who are working with me and they've started businesses at the age of 13 and 14. Okay, that's what they've done. And I'm very proud of these kids because all they did was educate themselves through YouTube videos during the day and then implement it also during the day. And they learned how to earn a living without slaving in a corporate job like their parents. And I'm very proud of those kids for doing that. Because now the education mafia can't threaten them. Otherwise, you know what will happen when you come to college? They'll charge crores of rupees for you to study and they won't teach you anything. It's a mafia. Education is a mafia. So you don't have to be in the hands of education mafia. A lot of people are paying back their college education loans in their 30s, which is really sad because they've been charged such an amount of money and they can't earn that amount of money back. So they took loans to pay for it. Banks are also ready. We'll give you student loans for this useless thing. And then you take student loans. Student loans are killing everyone in the world. It started in America, this trend, and we have exported this to the entire world now. Colleges feel so entitled to charge so much money to teach nothing of value from which a child can make money. So I think earning a livelihood by the time you're 13 or 14 or 15 is really good for you. If you're able to do this, then you feel fantastic. Okay. You feel spiritual too, because you'll be able to connect better to nature as you do this. Look, God is nature. Every religion's God is nature, really. And then what we could be living on any planet, right? You don't know what planet you're living on because you go from home to school in a box called a car, and then you come back from school to home in a box called a car or a van or whatever. And you just don't know anything. You could be living on Mars. You haven't seen anything that day, no nature. Nature hasn't touched you inside the school. When there's so much sun outside, why the hell do we have classrooms where we cover everything and don't let one ray of sunlight hit a kid? Why can't we teach the kids outside under a tree? Even if it's raining, kids are going to enjoy it. Teacher also enjoy. If it's raining, I'm outside. When I go outside, if it rains, I don't cover myself. I just cover my phone with a plastic and I'm good. You sit outside, your skin is waterproof, nothing happens to it. If you've ever taken a dip in a river and you come out and you're like, wow, none of the water went inside me. I mean, it did. Some things went inside, but very microscopic things. But this is a porous skin, which is capable of not flooding your organs with water and diluting them. So why are we so scared to teach kids outside? I don't understand. I think there needs to be a big revolution. The mafia needs to be stood up to. It's a mafia, it's nothing less.
Yeah. So, Can you share examples of how ancient teachings have inspired children to contribute positively to their community?
Yes.
Oh,
I
sorry.
taught the kids that the ancient teaching of Mudita. Okay. Learn this word, Mudita. Mudita is the happiness that comes from other people. Our teachings say that 95% of happiness is Mudita. Tosha is you making yourself happy, which is what is taught in America. Okay. Just make yourself happy. Don't worry about anybody else. That's called selfishness. That's not taught here in the East. Here we teach Mudita. I mean, not anymore. Okay. Look, I speak with a great shame that the people I see around me are wearing pants and shirts. The British left, but they're still here. They left their butlers, who are now the Indians. They're dressed like butlers. That are not even like well-dressed butlers. Even butlers look better than them. Why is every man dressing like a butler? It'll create a slave attitude in you. You can't go to a corporate office wearing this. Everybody will say that this is not appropriate clothes, but this is Indian clothes. Why are we not wearing Indian clothes as men? So the colonialism has gone very deep into our psyche and we've become British. All the Indians are actually British, except the ones living in Pondicherry who are French, which is just as bad. They're also wearing pants and shirts, and it's not our culture. Why should we wear pants and shirts? We have our own beautiful clothes for men also. Only women are wearing saris. Then they're wearing some salwars and whatever. But even women are now dressing like Britishers, like British maids. Okay, so we have a nation of butlers and maids, and it's a matter of great shame that this has happened. So mudita, coming back to it, mudita is the happiness that we get from making others happy. Okay, 95% of our happiness is mudita. Only 5% is tosha. So how much ever tosha you do, making yourself happy, how much ever making yourself happy you do, it's only going to contribute to 5% of your happiness. The remaining 95% of the happiness tank is going to be empty unless you fill it with making other people happy. There's no shortcut to this. Okay. So now when I make thousands of videos and I make 8 podcasts in a week and people watch it and they get value and they change their lives, that makes me happy. That's fulfilling. Okay. So if you want fulfillment in life, you make others happy. And of course, you even if you just make others happy and you don't do that 5% tosha for yourself, you're going to be unhappy. You have to do both. Tosha, mudita. This is what kids need to learn. So say, I want this and I want that. Okay, is it tosha or is it mudita? Ask yourself. 99% of the time, it's going to be tosha. Can you see how miserably we train kids to be selfish? We're not told them that, hey man, you want to feel happy, you have to help others. You have to worry about them. Make sure everybody's fed in the house, everybody is happy, everybody is comfortable. And you're also comfortable. That'll give you fulfillment. If you just concentrate on yourself and me and my needs, as Western teachings tell you, you'll never find happiness. You'll just be struggling. What is the meaning of life? Meaning of life is the love and kindness that you experience from other human beings. That's it. Nothing more than without that, life is meaningless, no matter what you achieve. People like Einstein and all these great scientists, and they were so lonely. Nikola Tesla, oh my God, he was so lonely because he only went about thinking about me, 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 me. He could not tolerate another person in his life. He just went on inventing things for his own intellectual satisfaction. But he didn't have any relationship with anybody. In the end, he became schizophrenic. He was living with pigeons, and he thought those pigeons are his friends. Even then, he wanted to do something for the pigeons, and that was making him happy, feeding the pigeons. You can also feed pigeons, but what about if you actually build something nice with other human beings? Isn't that great? Why do we not want to do this?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's time
A
to
lot
wake
of people
up and
have
look at your
told me.
conscience, look at yourself. What kind of a life are you living? Such an ordinary, horrible life. Such an ordinary, horrible health. Why you want this? Why don't you want to be energetic, healthy, like a superhuman? Like a dynamo, like a dynamite. Why can't you be like dynamite? Explosive, with all sorts of energy inside you. And working for the welfare of other people, not just yourself. Kids need to learn this early. Parents need to teach them. Parents show a sad example of their life, kids will learn nothing.
Yeah, a lot of people, we have a lot of things to learn from these. I wish this reach a lot of people and help people
It will.
lives.
You keep making podcasts with me, it will.
Yeah. So, like, what advice do you have for parents who might be like hesitant to introduce ancient Indian wisdom for their children due to cultural difference?
Please look at yourself in the mirror and say, are you doing the right thing? If you're not driven by your conscience, if you lost a touch with your conscience of caring for your kids and you just want to do something that everybody else is doing, and you want a certificate from society that your kid is cared of, while your kid suffers from mental health issues, physical health issues, and financial issues, then you're not a good person. Okay, look in the mirror and ask yourself if I'm a good person. If you want to be a good person, then learn some yoga. You can put the link to my yoga course also in this video for all the
Sure.
parents who want to learn for the sake of their
Yeah.
children and who say,
Mhm.
I have a conscience and I want to teach all these values to my children. They can learn from me.
Yeah. So, like, yeah, a lot of people like should, like use the advices you give. Like,
Many
even
people
me,
lose the
for
advice that I give.
example.
They go and distract themselves with something else because my advice is like thorns. It pokes your conscience.
Yeah, I try the best, but sometimes I forget, or sometimes
This is not
I
your
don't.
best. This is not
Yeah.
your best then. You're not fully committed. If you're fully committed, you'll do it.
I get distracted a lot. I should avoid this,
Why?
getting
Don't
distracted.
you want to be great? How can you afford to have this as part of your character?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is this announcement coming in the video? No, right?
Yeah, it's slightly, but it's not loud.
Okay, great. We can continue. Go ahead.
So, how might schools or educational institutions like incorporate practical aspects of the ancient teachings into their curricula to
Why will the
benefit?
mafia introduce this? Why will the mafia introduce this? It'll destroy them. They will never do it.
We should try introducing this to them.
Absolutely. That's what I do. I'm outside the system. I say go and get educated. It teaches you to read and write. After that, read and write my books. Read my books, write articles, and watch my videos. Make your own videos. That's the only way. Why do we need the mafia? We can teach ourselves to read and write too. We don't really need this mafia.
Yeah.
I didn't
But
realize it's a
people,
mafia earlier, but now I realize it is.
yeah, they should think about it.
You should think about you
Don't,
should be a mafia victim or not, because they're not threatening you with physical harm. If you don't go to their school, they don't care because there are 1,000 other sheep who will go to their school. They don't care, if you don't go to school tomorrow, they're going to ask, where's Bhavani? And after some time, they're going to say, oh, she's not here. And then just going to move on. Nobody's going to even call you.
yeah,
That's who you are, just a source of money for them. That's it. You're just one of the cows who give one of the cash cows. Oh, one cash cow is gone. We have the whole herd. It's okay. We don't really care. That's not how it's supposed to be. Every child is supposed to be important. You have to care deeply. People don't care. They just care about making money. But why? What are you going to do with all this money? I don't understand. I want to ask the mafia also. After you have all this money and power, what are you going to do? Nothing great. You don't have purpose. Even then, you're just going to die a miserable death without
yeah,
any drop of happiness, living on a heaven like earth, and you don't have. Earth is one of the seven heavens. It's the first heaven. It's a place where bliss and happiness is possible, where love and kindness is possible. It's not possible in the other worlds, in the hells, the talas. But most people prefer to live in as if they're living in a hell, even if they live on earth. Well, this is earth. It's not heaven, it's not hell. But both are possible. Evil is supported by this earth. There's a story in the Devi Puran. They say when Vishnu killed Madhu and Kaitav, these two uh, asuras, evil asuras, their
Yeah.
their fat became the earth. That's why the earth is called Medini. Meda means fat. You know.
Yeah. I
So
didn't knew that. It's
she
new.
the earth because it absorbed the fat of Madhu and Kaitav is inherently evil. And it supports evil. It's like, no, I want to support evil also. I want to support good also. Then this became a very interesting place, Earth. Where there's evil also, there's good also. And you had to choose which side you're on. You want to choose the side of love and kindness, or you want to choose the side of exploitation and slavery? That also has existed in this world. There's a shameful contribution from the Western world for this to enslave the Eastern world. But it didn't happen. Didn't happen properly. And there was a bad fight. They almost won. They couldn't wipe us out. They wiped out African spirituality. It's hardly practiced now. But
Yeah.
everyone in India is going to a temple. At least they're going to temples out of fear, saying, I don't think I'll pass the exam. Let me go to the temple first. And they're using it as a last resort. But even then, they're at least in touch with their culture in some way. They get to hear some Sanskrit mantras. British couldn't eliminate us. We are mighty beyond words. Even though we were physically overpowered because they cheated, they sowed discord among the Marathas to take over. I'm still reading that history. It's so fat. 7 volumes written by a Britisher on how they took over India. And I'm reading it.
What book?
Yeah.
Like, what's the name of the book?
The name of the book, I don't know. I'll have to ask Shweta. What's the name of the book? The author? Who? James Grandoff. Grand Grant, James Grant Duff. Okay. So the author is James Grant Duff, and it's about how they took over the Marathas. The British didn't take over India from the Mughals. That is also propaganda sent by them to make Sanatan, which is the original religion of India, feel low. For 150 years after the Mughals were vanquished by the Marathas ruled. This was ruled by Sanatan rulers. And then came the British, who managed to destroy the system. They studied how strong is Sanatan, and they found out loopholes, which was the caste system, which was many other loopholes that we had. Okay, so they came here as reformers, and they tried to reform Sanatan, making it all right, and then gave us a version of their philosophy, and that's what happened. So then that's how we all became Westerners now, butlers and maids. It's still not over. This war is not over. It started 200 years back. It's still going on. But we're going to win it.
Yeah. We
How
should.
stop us now?
India's like people say India's becoming more modernized.
Look, it's a cultural war. Okay, the West will always report that India is taking steps backwards. They couldn't be more mistaken, because this Western science is nothing for us. We can get into technology like this. Okay, go and look what is the major country, which is the biggest country involved in IT? It's India. And also many other researchers in many other fields are Indians. Many CEOs of companies are now Indians, including Microsoft, including Google, soon Facebook. ಏನಪ್ಪ ಆಯ್ತು ಆಯ್ತು ಆಯ್ತಪ್ಪ ಸರಿ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ So it's just a matter of time. Even Facebook, everybody has to hire an Indian at the end. Why is this? because we have the intellectual capacity to do things. And if I can just get people to focus their mind on all the injustices that have been done, they'll fix it. Overcoming this mafia is no big deal. We can do it in a few years.
I hope they do.
We will.
um,
Hard. And we are warriors.
yes. We'll, I hope like whoever watches this tries their best like to share this video to everyone and make sure everyone knows about whatever the things happening.
Look, the thing is that when you kill one Indian, there are 1,000 ones born. We have overtaken China in population.
Yeah.
Can't stop Indians.
So, are there any creative projects or activities that parents and children can engage in together to reinforce the practical application of ancient wisdom?
Yeah, I mean, like I'm telling parents that the biggest project you can do is teach your child not to get into corporate slavery. You learn that yourself and teach it. This is a great project. And while you learn it, make your kid help. You know, when my father started a business, I was helping him. But I was helping him because I started a business before him when I was 13. And I was making more money than both my parents when I was 13 years old. We were very poor, very poor. I was born in a slum. And from there, I started teaching my dad, and that was the biggest project when I decided to not go to school and earn money instead. So then I thought the only way to earn money was a job. That's what I thought. But if we teach children that that's not the only way to earn money, there's the internet. You can become a YouTuber. You can spread knowledge and earn money. That's a great project to start. I want to see more kids doing YouTube. The biggest weapon is knowledge. Not the sword, not the bomb, not the nothing. It's knowledge. So I think projects where children can escape the fate that is coming for them. They haven't even thought about it. The fate that's coming when you finish school and college is to go join a corporation and become a human resource. Save your kids from that. That's the best project. It means a lot of learning. Don't be afraid to learn.
Yeah. So, can you provide examples of how can integrate mindfulness and traditional practices into their academic studies?
I already told you that mindfulness is not a good thing.
Yeah, you did.
You've got to be aware of the past, the future, and everything, not just the present moment and things happening here. It'll dumb you down. Those who practice mindfulness become dumb after some time. They're not really the sharpest people on the world, on the planet. You have to really think about the future and the past. And you have to integrate your journey, know where you were, where you are, and where you're going. Yeah. Anyway, so I think finding purpose is very important for everybody. And it's not that hard to find purpose. I've made a video on it. It's on this channel called She Said No. You can link it too. I'll send you the link.
Sure.
This video is where everybody should start. I've given you the ancient ways that yogis found purpose and some kriyas to remove all of the bondage that is around you. You feel stuck sometimes. You feel I have no option. So when you feel that you have no option, you should watch this video and get purpose. That's the right place to start.
Yeah. So, can you repeat what you said? Like, I didn't get it properly.
You asked me how people can incorporate mindfulness and other yogic practices. I said, watch my video on purpose.
Yeah, you did.
That's what I said.
Okay, okay. So, yeah. Thank you. So, how do you envision like the long-term impact of introducing practical ancient wisdom to children on their overall well-being and character development.
Yeah, people living with purpose. That's what I want. Everybody's life is empty. They don't know why they're alive. They don't care about other people. They're not working on mutually beneficial relationships. They're becoming miserable. They don't know anything about their health and they're dying. This is the problem. And what I envision is the opposite of that, that people will have purpose, they'll be creating new projects, and they'll have better problems to solve than their diabetes.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with problems, but I'm like, why are you stuck in such low quality problems? Why don't you solve some high quality problems? Elon Musk thinks that he's solving a high quality problem by thinking, how can we take people to Mars? But I feel that's a low quality problem too. The high quality problem is how can you make life happy on Earth? That's a high quality problem to solve. Why are people so miserable? That was my question when I was a child. Why is nobody happy? What's wrong with these people? It's so easy for me to be happy. All I need to do is go on my cycle or play cricket with my friends and I'm happy. But these guys can't do that. And they're supposed to be adults and they're teaching me. I said, no, I'm not learning from these guys. I want to learn from someone who can be happy like a child. Why do we lose our happiness? It's natural. Naturally, a child cares about everyone in their environment, but then the parents train them not to care by not caring themselves. And the child gets trained that I should not also care. I don't blame children for this, but I do blame adults for being lazy, intellectually lazy.
Yeah. So, can you share a memorable instance where a child successfully applied practical wisdom from ancient Indian teachings to overcome a personal challenge or obstacle?
Yeah, there are thousands of examples of how children became better by just following Annapurneshwari Devi Maryada, just not eating after sunset, one thing. They became so much
Yeah.
and sleeping on time and waking up without the lights. Just Devi Maryadas, you know. That's where everyone should start. That's when your intellect wakes up and you start asking good questions. We start asking questions like, what am I going to do in life? And how will I know that if what I'm doing is right or wrong? That starts with dharma. Dharma is right and wrong. If you know right and wrong and you do only the right thing, then it's called dharma. Then there's artha, which is how can I make my life sustainable? How can I have money all the time flowing? How can I have a steady cash flow? That's artha. Then there's kama. Kama is how can I have a good sexual partner? This becomes of concern when you become older. And how can I have somebody who is a delight to be with, who agrees with everything I say? People have relationships, but they don't agree with each other. Why are you together if you don't agree? And then children learn that it's okay to live with someone and not agree with them. It's not okay. It makes holes in your heart. You bleed out energy from there. You know, and a lot of people, somebody called me saying, I have 6 tents in my heart. And if you ask his life, it's full of disagreement with his wife. That's why he has 6 tents in his heart. Okay? So, karma. And then there's moksha, immortality. How can me and my partner and everybody else who I'm working with, how can we all become immortal together? This is what it is. These are the 4 things. An escape from the cycle of being born and dying again, being born and dying again, being born and dying again. Can I just stay alive? That's called moksha. These are considered worthwhile life purpose in yoga. And I think we need to focus on dharma, artha, kama, moksha. It's called purushartha, the meaning of life. The meaning of a soul, you know, a soul is called purusha. And nature is called prakriti. Even our body is a part of prakriti, which is nature. So we go away from nature, we're losing our spirituality.
Yeah. So I have a question like, how do we know which is right or wrong?
By the goal. If your goal is to become fat, then the right thing to do is eat cake. But if your goal is to lose weight, the right thing to do is avoid cake. Simple. Depends on the goal.
Yeah. We should be committed to the goal.
So it's not eating cake that's right or wrong. Depends on your goal. If goal is become fat, eat cake and become fat. That's right for you because that's your goal. But most people have a goal to become thin and slim and then they go and eat cake. That's called adharma.
Mhm.
The opposite
But
of dharma.
yeah, but like we, how like it's so hard to be committed. Like for if like for
Why?
instance if like
It's because of who you are. You're a weak person. That's why. Why don't you be a strong person? I have a video called How to Stop Being Mediocre and Start Being Elite. You should link that too. I hope you made a list of everything you're supposed to link.
okay, yeah,
Yeah, just tell
I'm
me
writing.
if you want, I'll send it to you. So, how to stop being mediocre and start being elite. And that I've explained the process how you can stop being mediocre and start being elite. Be an elite, a strong, principled person. Why do you have to be a weakling? How weak is that? I want something, but I do the opposite. I think it's more
Yeah,
difficult to be an adharmi because the problems are too much. When you follow dharma, life is easy.
yeah,
Being an adharmi comes with so many diseases, disorders, lack of energy, stress, that, this. There's no goal, there's no purpose. People without
yeah,
purpose will only just spiral downwards into a spiral of depression, and then that ultimately kills them. It's our challenges that kill us, the challenges we cannot overcome. The last challenge that you cannot overcome will kill you. If you keep overcoming challenges, you're practically immortal. How can a weakling do that? You have to be a warrior. How can you say, I will not follow the discipline of exercise? It's not impressive. You don't deserve to be alive. Nature will kill you. Really. If you're not a hero, nature will kill you. Devi will say, enough, I don't want this being alive. She's not having fun. Let's kill her. Then you'll have some major disease.
so yeah,
What do you want? Major disease or happiness? Depends on what you want. How can it be? How can you find discipline hard? I find indiscipline hard. Every time I've been indisciplined, I've suffered. I've never had a good time. And here you are saying, I choose indiscipline and it's nice for me. It's easy for me. How is it easy for you? That should be painful for you. Indiscipline should be painful. It should be like, oh my God, the shame of being indisciplined is paining me so much. Look yourself in the mirror in the face and say, is this who you are? An indisciplined loser, weakling. Is that who you are? No, it's not. Bhavani is not who you are. You do good things too,
yeah,
like taking care of making this podcast. But don't let that be the only good thing you do. Everything you do has to be good.
yeah,
Depends on who you are. So that's what I'm saying. The mafia doesn't expect much from you, right? But Guru will expect a lot from you. That's the difference between Gurukulam and mafia.
yeah,
Guru expects good things from you, expects you to be a warrior, expects you to be strong. If you can't meet it, you'll get out of the Gurukulam. You'll be thrown out. Back to the mafia. Yeah, we're ruthless. If people don't meet my standards, I throw them out. Because I can't waste my energy on somebody who doesn't respect Devi.
yeah.
Hmm.
So the main thing is we should follow the Devi Maryada.
Be of this earth or the earth will abandon you.
Yeah,
You'll get desire to go to Mars like Elon Musk. because he's not of this earth. You're born on this earth, but you don't have any loyalty towards earth. How sad is that? Pretty sad. You won't believe it. There are so many dogs today. It's Bhairav Ashtami and they've all come here. Today is
Oh,
Bhairav Ashtami. So they sense the energy of Bhairava in our house. And it's not one or two. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 dogs. There's some amazing things nature also shows you, you know. Like when you went, after doing the podcast, when you went to the lake, didn't you see some rare birds?
I did.
Yeah. So nature responds to you and says, hey, I'm here for you. You
And
need
the thing is,
language. Hmm.
yeah, the thing is, whenever we do the podcast, or like whenever we think of doing it, I see birds on in my uh
It's no
yard.
coincidence. It's not a coincidence. A lot of things
Yeah,
happen, miracles happen when you're in the lap of nature, you know. Just have to ask the
and
mother, she'll give it to you.
every time my dad sees it, he says it's Shiva Shakti.
It is.
So my sister also started like whenever she sees some bird, she just says, "Look, there's Shiva Shakti there."
You know, there's a story of this guy who was sinking and he's a great bhakt of God and he says like, God, please send me, please save me. And then God sends a guy on a boat and he says, no, no, I can't get on this boat. This boat is a coincidence. I want God to save me. Then the helicopter comes. He doesn't get on the helicopter also. Yeah. And finally someone comes swimming and says, come on, man, just hold on to me. I'll take you to the shore. He says, no, I'm waiting for God. Then he dies. Then he goes to heaven, and God is like, what's wrong with you? I sent a helicopter, I sent a swimming man, I sent a boat, and you didn't get on it. If you're looking for God to come as a human being, is not going to happen. God comes as various different beings and various different energies and various plays of nature that you see. That's God talking. That's how religion was formed in the first place, when we understood that these things mean something. When we found meaning in that. And then the whole mafia laughs at us. Loves Mafia taught me that everything that I learned in my culture is superstition. What a thing to teach a child. When I used to wear a big tilak and go to school, they used to rub it off. They used to hold my hands and legs and rub it off. But one day I went with a small metal rod, and the first teacher put the hands on me, but I hit him. His hand broke.
Oh.
I'm worse than the mafia. After that, they never did it. They called my parents. My father said, very good. Like, why are you rubbing his tilak? He stood up for himself. He protected himself. Now, what do you want? He didn't attack you first. You attacked him. They said, you want? They said, we'll give a police complaint. He said, go right ahead. Give a police complaint. No problem. Then they didn't do it because they know they're wrong in the first place. There are lots of laws against forcing someone to not follow their religion. So they got scared. And I was ready for a bloody fight after that. And that's when I said, I don't want to go to this mafia place. Also, they're not teaching me anything. If there's something good they're teaching me, I'll go. They insult me and they don't want to teach. Why should I go?
Um, so like in my old school, they used to make us wear like long tilak and stuff.
They
It
used to
was not
what?
compulsory. They used to make us wear tilak.
Is to make you wear. That's also not good. If
Yeah,
she wants to wear, she should wear. Shouldn't force
and
anyone.
also bangles and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah. I'm wearing this because I want to. Nobody forced me to wear it.
yeah.
That's
Here
why
also sometimes when
that's
I
why
go
I'm
to
happy,
school,
because I do things that I want to, not because somebody forced me.
yeah. The thing is, I wear bindi every day to school, but like I have PE every day, so it makes my face sweat, and like I wear the wet one, so it goes like all around my face. So I just
Yeah, that's fine.
avoid putting a big one.
That's
Yeah.
fine. That's not an issue. It's not like we had to compulsorily wear this and wear that, you know. If you want to dress like
Yeah.
a maid and a butler, go ahead, but at least know that you look like a maid and a butler. I want
Mhm.
people to work from their conscience, not because I told them something. Use your conscience and find out what's right and wrong for you. What's your goal? What do you want to do in life? Be according to that. If you just want to be the best maid and butler of the year, which is called CEO, go ahead and be a best maid and butler. That's fine. Yeah, and then I'll have all this money, and then I'll buy this beach property, and then I'll stay in that property, and then what, boss? What are you going to do next? And I'll swim in the ocean, and I'll get so bored being selfish that I'll kill myself with TV and video games and whatever, and watching Netflix and watching porn, and then I'll die. Very good. There has to be a bigger purpose than just retiring to your own island. What is that purpose? How do you get excited by such selfish things?
Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff I learned in this episode. Like I didn't
It's
even
like
know
holding an
anything
electric
to talk
live
about.
wire, no? Have you ever held an electric live wire? That's what happens when you talk to me.
Yeah. I need to watch this episode more and more so that I can learn everything
You
next
and the
time
whole
around.
country. Good.
Yeah,
I'm going to send this to everyone.
sure.
Hmm.
The thing is, whenever I watch those old episodes, also like every time I watch, I learn something new.
That's right.
And I don't,
You've done great work, but then don't forget what you did.
yeah. Also, my dad, like he shares everything he learns with us, like the from the episodes.
Your dad is a good man. He wants to learn. He's learning.
Yeah,
He cares about his children,
yeah, and
which
he
is a
makes,
thing in today's world, you know. Parents have stopped caring about their kids.
yeah. I'm so glad he's making me learn
I'm
to
sure your mom's
like
great too because she's
learn.
allowing all this to happen. I have never spoken to your mom, but I know that she's not a bad person.
Yeah, she loves all these stuff too.
Yeah,
She encourages me.
that's great.
Yeah.
But some of the stuff I
So
teach is too hard to digest, but you have to digest it.
yeah, I can understand anything for the first time, but like going on, I can
Hmm.
like watching it just several times or
Well,
like
you will.
even can help me.
You will. That's what you have to do. You won't get it in the first listen because these are ideas that you haven't been exposed to. These new ideas.
Yeah,
All right.
that's good.
Are you at the end of your
Yeah,
questions?
yeah,
Good. So make another. This completes the series, I think.
yeah.
Yeah.
First
So
season,
make a new series now. Let's do it.
sure.
All right.
Yes, thank you. It's all your blessings. Thank you so much.
Take care.
Thanks for listening to episode 5 of Exploring Ancient Indian Wisdom for Global Kids. We hope you enjoyed Guru Pashupatiji's tips on using ancient teachings in daily life. If you liked this episode, please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with others. Also, stay tuned for our next season, Yoga and Dhyana, Ancient Solutions for Modern Kids, where we'll explore how yoga and meditation can benefit children today. Until next time, I'm Bhavani Desai, wishing you peace, wisdom, and joy. Namaste.